Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another video with OnPoint Politics. And today we're going to be looking at the state of New Hampshire and why it is actually a competitive battleground state this cycle. Make sure to hit the like button and to subscribe if you want more content just like this. And make sure to check out our streaming of the presidential debate at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So looking at this, right, we have highlighted New Hampshire as the point of focus. All the other states are my current modeled predictions for the 2024 presidential election, with a pretty modest victory in the Electoral College for Donald Trump and coming pretty close in New Mexico and Minnesota right now. New Hampshire is the main focus of this video because a lot of people believe that it is not a competitive state, and we're going to prove to you why it is actually a competitive battleground state. And what's quite funny is that Kamala Harris actually went just last week to New Hampshire, and supposedly she was going to push a Republican or push a Democrat over the finish line. She was fundraising there. Yeah, right. Yeah, she's definitely there for that. No, it's because her internals look bad in the state of New Hampshire, and she did a whole campaign speech there and got like not that many people. And there is a reason why she's going to the state of New Hampshire. It's because her internals look bad, and they look bad in Minnesota and New Mexico as well. So going into this, what I had somebody do, there are 5 current polls out of the state of New Hampshire with Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris. And I had somebody reweigh all of the polling data to what our projected electorate for the state would be, which is something similar to 2020. It's around an R+8, R+9 electorate in New Hampshire. And we're going to go ahead and kind of break that down on this video. So as you can see on your screen right here, we clearly see a tweet that I just posted literally right now. And I wrote up this report so everybody could see what I'm talking about. And what we did is we got all the latest polls and we weighed it to the electorate that we're projecting, which again is very similar to the 2020 electorate, almost identical to it. And we can see, you know, the electorate was R31, D23, independent 46. We're projecting an electorate by a point more Republican. We're using R+9 because the voter registration is flipping to Republicans, and they are listed on the top right here. You can see that Republican registrations have been pretty boosted in the state, and at least the spread is kind of happening. You can actually see here that Democrats fell off quite a bit from 2020 in voter registrations. Republicans are still not at what they were in 2020, but Democrats fell off significantly more. So everybody's fallen. Even independents fell a decent amount, but they still make up more votes than both Republicans and Democrats do. And so that is a sign that there are going to be at least over 40% of the electorate. And we're projecting about, you know, right around a 45% turnout for them, D+23 and R+32. So when you reweigh all the polling data, for example, this Emerson College poll, when you look at the crosstabs, Donald Trump's actually up in the state of New Hampshire in this poll. Looking at the next poll from the University of New Hampshire Survey Center, this is a Harris +1 poll, and not really even. It's actually way closer than that. It's literally like a tilt margin for Kamala Harris. Donald Trump as well, if we go ahead and look at this too, we'll also see the next poll, New Hampshire poll by St. Eslam. We see that Donald Trump is crushing it here, outperforming expectations. I mean, he was doing pretty badly. Like, independents are breaking for Harris, and then you have the party splits. But when you basically adjust the party weighting, you get something that's a lot more competitive. And again, here, same thing, another St. Eslam poll, we have a Harris +1 result here. And when you look at this last poll, another University of New Hampshire poll, it actually has Trump up a little bit in the state of New Hampshire, and he's improved with independent voters. So that is pretty impressive as well. So when you average out all of those polls, and this is including all of them, even going back to July, just to be unbiased, Donald Trump is within striking distance of leading. And I actually have him ahead in my average. He's ahead by around 2 points in my average, but that's because we've removed the July polls out of the aggregate. So the later ones are actually more favorable for him. And so we see here, when you weigh all the polling data, Kamala Harris is literally ahead by 1/4 of a point, and that puts the state into toss-up category. It is effectively a toss-up state. You could choose not to believe me. You can say that I'm full of it, that there's no way that that is the case. But I'm telling you, New Hampshire is a competitive battleground this cycle. And the polls are not looking great for Kamala Harris, because if it wasn't a battleground, it would be a much larger lead for Kamala Harris. And clearly pollsters still don't know what they're doing, because a lot of pollsters are oversampling Democrats. The Republican number, they're actually getting that number correct. They're actually getting that about right. They're getting it pretty spot on. The Republican number is within a number or two. This one was a little bit weird. This St. Eslam poll was strange. But you see, they get it almost spot on. They usually get the Republican number correct, but the Democrats are oversampled unbelievably, and independents are undersampled by a pretty ridiculous amount in the state of New Hampshire. And a lot of polling, you can even see here, it's pretty bad. This is a horrible sample. That's why Harris, and this poll, I think, had Harris up by like 10 or 11. But when you reweigh it through the crosstabs, it is not looking great whatsoever. It's looking pretty bad. You even see here, like independent 37, and we're weighing for 45, and the independent count was 46. Like, that is a huge chunk of the electorate that they're oversampling. Like, that is not great. And Republicans and Democrats should not be competitive, because registered Republicans actually tend to turn out more than registered Democrats in presidential years. And so it is not looking great. It's just not. It is not looking good at all for Kamala Harris in the state. And it's effectively a battleground. I mean, it really could go either way. Donald Trump could barely lose it by a point or two. He could be within a point. Like, it's within that range of being a competitive battleground state. And as the national polling data has kind of climbed back up for Trump, he slowly picked up in the state as well. So that is another big deal for the former president too. Even looking at onpointpolitics.com, we can actually see that Donald Trump has expanded his lead in the state of New Hampshire in my average to about over a point. So he's actually winning New Hampshire by a lean margin. I'd have to update my forecast, but he's winning that by over a lean margin. Michigan was just added into the lean Republican column in terms of the odds for it to go red, because now it is right above a 60% chance to go to Donald Trump. So again, it's looking really good for the former president right now. I mean, he's basically coming in here with 312 electoral college votes with basically a percentage chance of over 60% to win them. Harris coming in with 191 in terms of the percent chance. And a lot of the battlegrounds are states that Joe Biden won very easily last cycle. And so it is becoming a problem. Donald Trump right now, in my adjusted average, which I also reweigh all the polling data to a tied electorate, because that's where I think it's going to be, Donald Trump is increasing, and he's picked up a lot of that Kennedy support that fell off the past couple of days. A lot of the Kennedy support has gone undecided. So that'll be, you know, a little bit of an opportunity zone for each candidate to pick up. And so there is a possibility Harris could gain, you know, about 3 points. Like, if she were to somehow get all the undecideds, she could technically jump up and pass Donald Trump. It's definitely possible. But my average for Biden in 2020, when using the same methodology, when we weigh back to 2016, Biden is ahead by 5.2% in the national popular vote, which is incredible, because that is really almost spot on. I mean, he won by 4.5 last time. And using the same methodology, the same pollsters, and going a month back from November 2nd all the way to October 2nd, we see that Donald Trump is, in fact, you know, he was down 5.2%. And that average, using it in my model, as well as demographic margins and my personal estimates from 2020, and applying my national popular vote to the partisan leaning trend of every state, we actually see that my model would have been 100% correct in all of the state calls, and would have had about plus 80% accuracy in terms of the margin in every single state. So again, guys, I'm telling you, it's looking good for Donald Trump right now. Things are looking pretty good for him in the Electoral College. And Kamala Harris, I mean, today, she has to win the debate. She has to win it. If she does not win the debate, it's done. Because if she wins the debate, she can pick up some undecideds and maybe flip a few reluctant Trump voters. And that could even get her competitive in the Electoral College. But if she's not able to do that, if she just tanks the debate, it's done. There's no way she'd be able to recover from that. Harris arguably needs the debate more than Joe Biden even does, to be honest. And so if you guys did enjoy this quick analysis of why New Hampshire is in play for Donald Trump this cycle. Make sure to hit the like button and to subscribe for more polling content just like this. I am streaming later today at 8 p.m. and I'm also going to be doing a space on X at the same time before the debate so that we can actually react to it live with me in the space. And on top of that, you'll also be able to ask questions in the space on X before the debate. Once the debate starts, I'm going to kind of mute everybody on the space and you'll just be able to hear my live reaction to it. And so I will see you guys there, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another video.